I have reviewed quite a few different Lume Cube products in the past. Just recently, I have reviewed the Lume Cube 2.0 and then the Lume Cube Panel, and today we are going to look at the Lume Cube Panel Mini. Kia ora, good morning everyone, Richard Wong here. Today we are going to have a look at the latest product from Lume Cube, and this is the Lume Cube Panel Mini. This is the little brother to the Lume Cube Panel, which I have reviewed not too long ago. The biggest difference you can see immediately is the size. This is quite a bit smaller than the Lume Cube Panel. The size of the Lume Cube Panel Mini is about maybe, I think the same size as a credit card. You may ask why Lume Cube released this Panel Mini. Isn't that they just released this Lume Cube Panel not too long ago? The light is quite soft and it's also quite bright and it has a big battery in it, and that is definitely true. But then it also really depends on how you use the Lume Cube Panel. If you just want to mount it on top of your camera and you have a smaller camera like my G85, or you use a compact camera, mounting this Lume Cube Panel on top of it, it looks a little bit funny and also a bit top heavy because it is quite a large LED panel, and that's why some people may prefer to have a smaller light panel like this Lume Cube Panel Mini. And another reason is that the Lume Cube Panel is not cheap at all. The price is $149 US, which is probably more than what a lot of people would want to pay for a LED light. And this time the Lume Cube Panel Mini, it is a lot more affordable. The price is only US $59. So it's roughly 1/3 the price of the Lume Cube Panel. So a lot more affordable, or you can buy almost 3 of this Lume Cube Panel Mini for the price of 1 Lume Cube panel, so that you can be a little bit more creative on how you want to light up your scene. Okay, now let's have a closer look at the Lume Cube Panel Mini. The front, as you can expect, is the LED light at the front, and it's behind a frosted panel to give you more diffuse, more softer light output. This is a bi-color LED light, so you can change the color temperature from 3200 Kelvin, which is a little bit yellowish white, to 5600, which is white or daylight balanced white. There are a total of 60 LED lights on the Lume Cube panel. Half of them are yellow one and half of them are the white one. So depends on what color temperature you choose, the panel would just use a mixture of the white and yellow LED to output the color temperature that you want. All the controls and connectors are on this side of the light. There is only one button, one dial, and one USB-C connector. The button is used to turn on, turn off the light, and also switch between whether you want to adjust the power or the color temperature. And then there's a little dial here for you to change the setting, the power or the color temperature. I really like this dial because it's a very simple thing. It's just a dial, so it's not like some big innovative design, but it just makes adjusting so much easier and faster using the dial instead of having to use the button, which means you normally have to keep pressing it many times. Even compare it with the Lume Cube panel, which use the button design. When I'm switching back and forth between these two, I just find the Lume Cube Panel Mini using the dial here, it's just a lot easier. And also another thing is, because you only have one button and one dial, you don't even have to look at it. You just hold it, and if you're touching the button, you know this is the only button and there's only one way you can use it. And then when you touch the dial, you know this is a dial. Unlike some other product, I think the one that I complained the most was when I was reviewing the Relight RB08P light, which is very nice light, but the problem is it has like 5 buttons here, so it's quite hard to remember which button I have to press. If I want to change some of the settings, I have to look at the icons here all the time, every time before I press it. Otherwise I would most certainly press the wrong button. In comparison, the Lume Cube Panel Mini with only one button and one dial, it's just a lot simpler. You just can't get any simpler than that. And then yes, we have the USB-C connector here for you to charge the battery on the Lume Cube Panel Mini. Despite the smaller size and also lower price of the Lume Cube Panel Mini, I'm just really glad that Lume Cube didn't just use a micro USB port and they used the USB-C port, which in my opinion is what all the new products should be using. The USB-C port is stronger, it's reversible, it's just so much better than the micro USB port. So I'm just really glad that Lume Cube didn't cut costs and just use a micro USB port. Oh, another thing is that you can still use the light when you plug in a USB power supply to charge the light. So that means you can charge the light and use it at the same time, or use an external power source to extend the battery life of this Lume Cube Panel Mini. In terms of battery life, the Lume Cube Panel Mini has a 1200 mAh battery, and the official figure is if you run it at 100% power, the battery can last 1.2 hours. So I did a little test to see how accurate or how close it is. I fully charged the battery and then I turn on the light and set it to 100% power at 5600 Kelvin, and in the end it lasts 77 minutes until it shut down itself. So that's very good because it's actually slightly longer than the official claimed figures. And when I was doing the battery life test, I also checked the temperature, because one problem running the light at 100% power, especially for a small light like this, is that it may overheat quickly. Right now it's autumn here in New Zealand, so the temperature is not very hot or very cold. The ambient temperature was around 20-ish degrees Celsius when I did the test. I measured the temperature of the back of the light regularly when the light was running at 100% power. When I started the test, the back of the light was around 25 degrees Celsius. After 10 minutes, it raised to 35 degrees Celsius. But after that, the temperature does not actually raise anymore. It remained at around 35-36 degrees Celsius even after the whole battery test. After 77 minutes, the temperature in the end is still around 35-36 degrees Celsius, which is only barely warm. So that is very good, because it means even when I use it on a very hot day, the chance of it overheating is not very high. And then I did another test to see how bright this Lume Cube Panel Mini is. First, I did a test, just compare it with the Lume Cube Panel. The Lume Cube Panel is definitely a lot brighter than the Lume Cube Panel Mini, which is not really a big surprise because the Lume Cube Panel is probably one of the brightest LED light that I have ever used, the one that is pocketable anyway. So I'm not surprised that the Lume Cube Panel Mini is not really quite as bright as the Lume Cube Panel. So after that, I did another comparison, and this time I just compared it with the Lume Cube 2.0, and I found that the Lume Cube 2.0 is actually a little bit brighter than the Lume Cube Panel Mini. The difference is not huge, and the reason I say that is because when I was doing the test, when I just look at the scene with my eyes, I can't really tell if there's any difference between the output from these two lights. Only when after I finish the test and then I compare the footage, then I noticed the output from the Lume Cube 2.0 is a little bit brighter than the Lume Cube Panel Mini. So that is definitely a little bit disappointing, because I thought the slightly larger size of the Lume Cube Panel Mini would give me at least equal amount of light output compared to the Lume Cube 2.0. But then I remember that the Lume Cube Panel Mini is a bi-color LED light, while the Lume Cube 2.0 is a single color LED light. And one of the trade-off having a bi-color LED light is that you end up having half of the LED light for a different color, so that would definitely decrease the maximum brightness of the light. And while the Lume Cube 2.0 is brighter than the Panel Mini, one big advantage of the Panel Mini is that the output is quite a little bit softer because of the larger size. If you look at the shadow behind me in this sample footage, you see that with the Panel Mini, it is a lot softer. The shadow doesn't have a very harsh and sharp edge. While the footage I shot using the Lume Cube 2.0 to light up the scene, you can see a much sharper shadow on the wall. And if you want to make the light output even softer, the Lume Cube Panel Mini also comes with a little diffuser, a clip-on diffuser, so that you can put it on top of the light. That would help you diffuse the light a little bit more. But what I like the most about this diffuser is it's also a pretty good physical protection to the light, because it is quite soft, so even if you drop the light, the diffuser can definitely minimize the damage or impact to the light. There are two mounting holes on the light, one is on the side here and one is at the bottom here, so just give you more flexibility in terms of how you want to mount the light. And the light also comes with a little mounting, horseshoe mounting, what do you call it, adapter thing. So yeah, you can just screw the light onto this mounting bracket thing, and then you can easily put it on top of your camera using the horseshoe mount. At the back of the light, we have a little display here, which is very similar to the one on the Lume Cube panel, but it is a little bit smaller and it is only single color instead of the multicolor one on the Lume Cube panel. But it displays the same amount of information. You can see the remaining battery, you can see your current output power setting, you can also see the color temperature, you can also see the remaining battery life in terms of the actual time. And I find that is very important and also very useful information, because when you are shooting out there, if you know you need to shoot for say another 40 minutes, so you can keep monitoring the remaining battery hour and you make some adjustment to the output if you find that it wouldn't last as long as you need. And the number display there also seems to be reasonably accurate, so that is very important, because if you display the number and it's not really accurate, then that's not very useful. Over the last 2 weeks, I have been using the Lume Cube Panel Mini quite a lot. I have used it to shoot quite a lot of vlogging video. I found it very useful, not only when I have to shoot in a very dark area, even when I shoot in like an indoor area, maybe like a room like this that has good lighting here. When you walk around, because of the light at different locations, quite often you actually have quite harsh, ugly looking shadow on your face, or your face would be just complete in shadow. Mounting this Lume Cube Panel Mini on top of your camera and run it at a low power, and that will just help you ensure the light on your face is always nice and also more consistent. And also the good thing is, because you only need to run it at pretty low power output, the battery would pretty much last forever. And another way I have been using this light quite a bit is because recently I have a lot of internet meeting. I think it's the same for a lot of you guys. So in the afternoon in this room here, sometimes it's a little bit dark. So quite often what I find is when I notice it's quite dark and I just turn on this light, I just need to set it at a pretty low power. Again, I don't need to set it at 100%. Most likely it's like 30% is more than enough. And I do not have any mounting bracket or clip or anything, so that would be nice if I have one. But the good thing is this one, because the design of it, oops, nearly drop it, is a little bit fake, so I can easily just put it on my desk and it can stand up, and that can help me to light up myself quite nicely, and that makes a big difference compared to not using the light at all. And also because I can charge or power it using the USB port, so even if sometimes I forgot to charge it and the battery is running really low, I can still just plug in the USB port from my computer and just have it running. And even if I have a very long meeting, and the light can still stay on to light up myself during the whole long meeting. Okay, so this is my review of the Lume Cube Panel Mini. Thank you very much for watching. I will put a few links down below here if you are interested to find out more about this Lume Cube Panel Mini, or if you have any questions about this Lume Cube Panel Mini, please feel free to ask me. So thanks again for watching this video, and I will see you in my next video.